Question number 3, Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and my question is to the Minister of Environment and asks, how will the new Unitary Plan adopted yesterday support the government's work to address Auckland's housing problems?
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, the existing Auckland plans without special housing areas have capacity for only 7,000 additional homes. The plan initially proposed by the Auckland Council provided for 213,000 homes. The final plan adopted by the Council provides for an additional 400,000 homes. This is a huge step forward. The Productivity Commission in their 500-page report, 12 months of work, identified the old Auckland Council's controls on housing as the principal reason for the lack of supply and affordability of Auckland housing. The successful completion of this unitary plan under a special process facilitated by the government's legislation has walked a balance between giving people a fair say and getting to a conclusion. This approach has proved successful.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What are the specific problems with the existing planning rules in Auckland on housing development, and why were they so deficient?
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
Mr. Speaker, the existing rules in Auckland consist of 11 different plans developed in the early 1990s by the previous 9 councils and complicated since by over 80 plan changes. These plans provided for over 90 lots of different rules for doing residential development that made it complex, slow and expensive. The current plans also contradicted each other because the old regional council wanted growth to be infill, whereas the old territorial councils preferred greenfields. The new councillors had to resolve this tension over to what degree Auckland is to grow up and to grow out. The strength of the new unitary plan is that it allows for both, and this matches up with projected population growth for the first time ever.
Supplementary.
Order. Supplementary question, Kanwaljit Singh Bakshi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. How will the government ensure a smooth transition from the special housing areas to the new unitary plan?
Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Nick Smith.
The special housing areas, of which there are 154 in Auckland, were intended as an interim measure to facilitate the planning for new housing development while the unitary plan was developed and consulted on. The bulk of the special housing areas have been zoned residential under the unitary plan, and so for these the mechanism will become redundant when the new unitary plan becomes operative. There are some that have not been picked up in the unitary plan. I'll be working with the Auckland Council to ensure a smooth transition. I do note the interjections from the member opposite, who opposed having a single Auckland Council, who opposed the special housing areas, who opposed the special process for the unitary plan, which just facilitates that he's part of the problem, not part of the solution.
Then get out of the way.
Question number 4,